guys, so today my client wanted medium box braids, and today I'm going to be very detailed on how I do my box braids. I'm going to do some close-ups and let's get started. So first I'm going to part her hair. These were going to be knotless braids, but she changed them into the process because she felt that her hair wouldn't hold them as long as box braids would. So that's why her parts are a bit big, and I didn't go back and change them. I just kept them as they were, and then they got smaller as I did them. So what I'm going to do first is make sure that my parting is how I like it. I normally take either edge control, or I'll always use the jam, the shining jam, the orange bottle as y'all can see in the background. I always take that and use them on my parts and define them. So here I'm just showing you different ways of you doing the box braids to make them tight. So this one I split into half, and then I cross over with one, and I cross over with my index finger, and then I pull the hair tighter. So what I do is basically keep my hands steady with the braiding hair, and then I do it like that, and then that's how I get them to be close to the scalp. So I'm just going to show you a bit of a slow clip on how I'm braiding it down. So okay guys, so even though you're braiding, sometimes other hair from another side of the hair will get into the braid. Please always make sure that you put that to the side. You can use a clip, a comb, anything like the edge control or something, just to brush it off to the side. In this clip I'm showing you guys just a little slow tip on how I'm braiding the hair underhand, by the way, and how I started to tuck it at the end. And so I'm going to repeat the same step of what I did the first time of what I showed you guys. Yes, the braids look stiff as of now, but as you dip them, as you keep going, they kind of loosen up. But that's coming for your braids to be stiff when you first get them done. So I'm going to do a close-up for you guys so I can show you guys how I'm actually braiding it to be tight. So first, as y'all seen, I double the hair, and then I take my pointer and my thumb and I separate it, and then I take my left hand, I take my thumb, my pointer finger, and my middle finger, and I kind of like just put the hair under my fingers and then maneuver around it. So basically I kind of, let me see how to explain it, I kind of pull the hair as I'm braiding to keep it close to the scalp. I don't know if I explained that good enough, but I'm going to show you more as the video keep going. So I'm going to repeat myself again. I'm pulling the hair close to the scalp, and then using my index, my pointer, and my thumb to keep the braids in lock. So I'm just going to kind of fast forward it because I explained it, and then you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And y'all see that it's to the scalp. It's not loose or anything. So just keep watching. Y'all see? I'm doing slow clips for you guys, fast clips for you guys. Just keep watching. So basically, when it comes to my parting, I tried to section the hair off into twos so I can kind of see where I'm going and where my parting is going, and how big and how small I'm going to do it, and also how wide. So as y'all can see here, I kind of showed you guys what I do. I split it into two, and then I separate it, put grease all over it, and then like I said, I use the shining jam to kind of keep my parts clean, and it helps me braid really good. So I wasn't able to show the whole thing because the camera did cut off, but here's a few clips. So I take 2 pieces of braids, and then like I showed you on the second braid that I did here, I take my thumb, my pointer finger, and my middle finger kind of, and I maneuver the hair under my thumb, and then I pull with my pointer, my middle finger, and my thumb, and I flip my hand over to keep it to the scalp and then to braid tighter. So I don't know if y'all see how tight I'm pulling now. It might seem like I'm just pulling her hair, but that's not the case. I'm actually just pulling, not tight, but I'm pulling to keep a good grip of her hair. So that's what I'm doing. Just continue to watch. So as you guys can see, I'm not yanking at her hair, I'm not pulling at her hair. I'm being very, very gentle, but I'm making sure that I comb out any naps if there is any. So here I kind of slowed it down for you guys so I can show you how I loop the braids. So I'm taking 2 strands of hair, and then I pull it close to the scalp. I take my thumb, my pointer, and my middle finger, and I loop that 1 strand of hair under my thumb on my right hand. Well, it depends if you're left-handed or right-handed, but me, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to loop it under my right hand, my right thumb. And as I'm doing that, I take my middle finger to pull down the right side of the braid, my left hand to move the braid under, and then I start to braid. So I hope this explains and give extra detail about what I'm doing, but I get closer to the front, I can kind of show a little bit more detail, but it will be kind of fast because I did most of it in back. But I'm just going to speed this up, so stay tuned. So she ended up not wanting them as short as they were because she's a little bit older, so we be trying to go for a cute long look. So I ended up having to go back in and add it on to the hair. So I'm going to do a close-up on how I do that and how I add in the hair. So just watch as I do it and then I'll explain. So basically I take the hair after already braiding it to a certain extent. I take my left hand, add it in as you would do just as if you were adding in a feed-in braid, except I just take my time on adding it in so that it can blend in with the braid and it can look just as so. So this is just a close-up on how I do my front. I am going to show you how I do the other side of her head. Because her edges were really thin, I did her front 2 rows smaller than what I did the back, but her hair is still going to be the same size as all the other braids. Just the first 2 rows I did smaller than I did the back. So I'm just going to speed it up a little bit, showing you my part and how I part, how I use degrees, and then make my part perfect, well, at least perfect enough, and then how I braid it down. So first, like I said in the beginning, I'm just going to jam it down, and then after I jam it down, find the parts that I want and get to braiding. I did do a little close-up on how I make her edges tighter than how I did the back, because you want them to last longer, and that's the first thing people see is the front of your braids. So stay tuned for that. So for her edges, she wanted to use edge booster because she said that it holds her hair longer. So I went ahead and did the request because it is her head. It's all about what my clients like. So I took the edge booster around her first row of 2 edges, and as y'all can see, the braids were really tight. They weren't like tight to their extreme, but they were tight for her first 2 rows. Not saying the back wasn't tight, but they were tighter than the back, and they actually came out pretty neat. As y'all can see there, when I was trying to get the braid to come out, y'all see how it's to the scalp. So I really love this. I really love the technique I've been using. So let's get upon her edges. Her edges are the weakest point and spot of her hair, like I had stated already. So for her edges, I did her edges a little bit smaller than the rest of her hair, but y'all gonna like this turnout. Y'all, this is gonna come out so cute. So basically what I do with smaller thin pieces of hair is like I pinch it just in, if I was going to do feed-in braids. So right here I'm just pinching the hair, and then I'm going piece by piece, but I'm keeping my hands close together because, you know, remember, her hair is smaller upon the edges, so you want to keep your hands a little bit closer to each other so that her braids can come out tight. So this is a zoom up on how tight they were, and I really love them, y'all. Okay, y'all, this happened to be the smallest piece of hair that she had, and so I'm just gonna work my way around it. So again, I'm just gonna take the braid as if I was doing a feed in and peach it into the braid. So I tried to be as detailed as I could, but I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing. I'm peaching it into the braid, and then after it's all into the braid, I begin to form my way just as if I would do a regular braid. And y'all see that it is still tight to the scalp and everything. Y'all, I really love it. So I'm just gonna continue to do the rest of the front of her hair, and then I'm gonna show you guys what I do when I finish the hair and how it came out. So before I dip the hair and after I dip the hair, I always go in and then just cut off them flyaways, y'all. It's just be a whole lot of hair just flying everywhere. The reason why I cut it before and after is because when you dip them, the flyaways will still be there, but the more you cut off before dipping, the more that you just don't see them. So after dipping, I just go in and cut some of the ends just to make sure they're straightened, and then after that I go in and apply the mousse, and then that secures the end, and that also helps in moisture the hair. If hair is too tight, it also loosens the hair. So I'm just going to apply about 3 coats of that. That's just to make sure that I got it throughout the scalp, throughout the braids, and make sure her braids are tight and freshened. So that is how I do box braids. Thank you guys for staying tuned. I really hope you guys love this video and enjoyed it. Please stay tuned for more content, and please like, comment, and subscribe.